Welcome. Today we have a Kenwood model Basic X1. The whole Kenwood Basic series back in 1983. Oh man, is this deck already what, 41 years old? Yeah. So back in the early 80s, Kenwood released a whole line of audio equipment which had the basic designation. You had the basic M1, the basic C1. The M1 was the amplifier, C1 was the preamp. You had the basic T1 for the tuner and the basic X1 for the cassette player. Back in those days, this was one of their top models. I bought this one as a parts only off of eBay. They're very old. I think this must be one of the first decks that actually has the Sankyo direct drive transports. So the capstan is driven by permanent magnets instead of a belt. So one good thing about this deck, the main belt is non-existent, so we don't have to replace the main belt. One thing I noticed, since it's a parts only deck, I don't expect too much of it. The seller said, doesn't work, nothing works. Okay, I plugged it in. Well, at least, you know, we got some life. This one doesn't work. Well, it works, it opens, you know, but it doesn't stay closed. So we're going to fix the cassette holder. I'm going to undo the screws. We're going to have a look inside, put a cassette in and see what it does. Okay, so cover is off. I took the cover plate off the cassette holder. If you want to know what it looks like from the inside, you know, it's Dolby ICs here. It's quite empty, but it's you know, power supplies is well built. Motor controls are all here. You can adjust everything here. One line in, one line out. So let's have a look if I can find a cassette. Yep, I have a cassette. Let's see what it's doing. Oh. Okay. Is the Dolby on? No. There is. Well, it plays. So I guess that's good. Either the azimuth is not okay because I hear no high frequency tones. Okay, so the head's dirty. Another thing that I notice is somebody has already been in here. And let me show you how I can see that. Oh, and now I will take the transport out and show you that. But the back plate, this one, is mounted incorrectly into its holders. So the back plate should be straight and the cassette should be straight, and it's tilted forward because it hasn't been mounted correctly. So let me take the transport out. By the way, I changed the camera angle a little bit. I don't know if this is better or worse. We'll probably film it from the top later on. Okay. Turn around. Take the front cover off. Take all the screws for the transport out. No, let's leave the transport in. Let's just take the front cover off for now. That should be off. Turn around. Oh. There. cables on. Now, if I can, I'll put you a little bit closer. Okay, so you're a little bit closer now. Now, if you have a look here, you see how the back plate is in front of the holder, and it should be inside. Also, you see that the heads here are extremely dirty, pinch roller extremely dirty. So yeah, not good, needs a little bit of work. So let's continue taking the transport out. One screw here, one screw there. I know there's 2 more screws underneath, and I'm just questioning whether or not to keep. I'll leave the front panel on for now. So, 1, 2. And I know that a lot of people, you know, they dislike not the Sankyo movement, but the way that Kenwood implemented the Sankyo movement into their equipment. They say it's hard to work on, you have to dismantle it too much, and I agree. You know, it's a little bit more involved, taking a little bit more screws out, but all in all, it's not bad. And as I said, this might be one of the first cassette decks with that direct drive Sankyo movement. It performs really, really, really well. I really like it. Okay, now let's see. Don't damage anything. Put it back down. Let's see if we can take it out. Okay. I'm going to move the camera back to its original angle from above, then I can sit down. Okay, so the camera from top. I'll unplug the power for now. Let's slide this out and open it up. And there it is. Now, if nobody has seen, hey, we have found a piece of plastic. I know where that's from. That is from the door mechanism. So that makes fixing it a lot easier. So don't lose that. We're gonna need that. Where was I? Oh, the Sankyo movement. If you've never seen one of these, this is the capstan motor, and it directly drives the flywheel. Let me take the whole transport out for a second. Okay. So that's, oh, those are those 2. Those are wound on. Okay, let me make a little bit of space. Should I just cut them off? Don't like that. We'll unwind them, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, this is the Sankyo movement. As I said, the capstan motor. There's no belts because, you know, the flywheel is driven directly, and it gives a very, very good controlled speed. You know, wow and flutter on these transports. Top of my head is below 0.03%. The same transport is used in the Nakamichis, the CR 4, 5, 6, 7. Some have dual capstans, so you have the motor here, then a belt from here to the other flywheel. So then you have a dual capstan. It's used in a Nakamichi BX 300, top of my head, and Onkyo's, Yamaha's, you know, most top of the line, starting in the 83 and all the way up to early 90s. They used this Sankyo transport. Sometimes the control motor that is now here is moved to up in the corner here, because then the second flywheel sits here. And I will show you some differences later on as well. Let me cut those two wires, and I will move the deck out of the way, and we'll start, you know, giving this one a good service. Okay, so here we have the movement. It's out of the deck itself. I showed you the little piece earlier. Now this doesn't close anymore, and it looks like there's, let me take this out. It looks like there's a piece of plastic broken off right there. Let me take this side off. Luckily the spring is still there. Take the other side off. Now look here. You see how here's a piece broken off. Oh, coming. Yep. Here, a piece broken off, and I see there's another piece broken off here. This one is not as important, but this one holds the cassette door in place. So the little piece that I found, we're gonna put back here. Now the other thing that I wanted to show you is, if you look here, you see how it probably, see how it moves. It's not being held. This should slide in a little ridge in the distance holders. So let's take it off. And we're going to take the whole thing apart to service it. There's one screw, two screws, and now the plate comes out like so. And it should be, you know, inside like that. Not on the outside, because now when you put the cassette back in, it rests on these posts and not on the cover plate, and this is the way it's supposed to sit. So probably if they haven't messed around with the azimuth, then we may get a lot more high tones. If not, not a problem. Adjust the azimuth screw back to where it belongs. Okay. So that's the cover plate. There's a little lamp. I didn't see it light up, so I assume that's broken. It seems to be fixed somewhere in the past. You know, it's got sticky tape. So let's take that one away. Yeah, that's not original. Also difference between these early Sankyo movements that Kenwood used and the later ones. This one has a rubber idler tire, and the later ones came with a gear and a gear to drive, you know, the take-up reels. This one still has the rubber, so I don't know what it looks like. We'll clean that later and see what the take-up torque is. So if we turn it around, take the wires out of the way. As I said, you know, there's no belt, but still I'm going to take the flywheel and the capstan out, clean that one, put a little bit of fresh oil in so that it runs nicely. So that's 1, 2, 3 screws that we're going to take out. And please be careful when you do this, you know, use fitting screwdrivers. Not too big, not too small, because you're going to ruin the screws or you're going to strip it. So get the right tool for the right job. 3. Now if I'm not mistaken, this one comes off, and yes it does. Now look, I said it was a permanent magnet. So this is the magnet, these are the coils, and it's got very, very, very thin wires. So I assume they're still okay because the deck played very well. So we're just going to leave them where they are. Don't break them because it's going to cause a lot more issues. Take the oil washer off and don't lose it. Okay, like so. Here's a little oil washer. Put that with the screws. Put it back. Take the flywheel off. There we go. You see, there's the coil. Also again, very small wires, so be careful. And this is the flywheel. Doesn't look too bad. It's a bit dry, so I'll get a bit of polish, clean this, put a little bit of oil in, put my pipe cleaner through it with some alcohol, and we'll clean the bearing. Oh, come on. Okay, so little iso alcohol, pipe cleaner, and run it through a few times. Just make sure it's clean. Okay, and let's wet a little bit of piece of paper. Clean the capstan. You know, and if you do this with paper, paper is a little bit abrasive, but it's not gonna repolish the capstan or change the size or whatever. It's just gonna take the dirt off. Okay. Now let's feel how this sits. Yeah. Okay. Did I lose something under here? A little ring. It's touching. Is there a spring? Okay, I'm gonna rewatch the video. If there is a spring, it should be on my mat. I didn't see a spring. No. Okay. No, doesn't look like it. Okay, now a little bit of specialized oil. By the way, this is the PDP 65 oil, very thin, and I'm putting it on the capstan, not where the tape sits. Slide it back in. Okay. By the way, the reel motor and the command motor are sometimes known to develop dead spots, as they call it. So the brushes then wear out, and then it always sticks in a certain place. So either the command motor will stop operating the transport, or the reel motor will stop operating the take-up reels. I guess we're gonna find that out later. First I wanted to clean this, you know, make sure it's running smooth, and then we can see, you know, if we need to do anything else. Okay. Let's put this back in. No, I really do think, oh, there we go. No, okay, so magnetism. Okay. So put the screws back in. All three of them. And that is the capstan motor. Now the next thing we're going to do, there's 1, 2, 3 switches. Those get a little bit dirty, so we're going to clean those with a little piece of paper and some alcohol. What I like to do is put the paper between the switches and just press the switches and pull out the piece of paper. You know, it's just abrasive enough to get some of the grime out, so it won't give you any issues. If they're very corroded, you're gonna have to use some sandpaper. But for now, this works. Oh, there's an airplane coming over. Can you hear that? Okay. Now look at the piece of paper. That's the dirt coming off the switch. There's more switches down here. Those look kind of clean. We can take them out. Clean those as well. There's little pesky wires. Again, take care with the screws. Use the right size screwdriver. One more from the other side. Oh, it's underneath. Okay, so that's up there. That's a little bit. Pinch roller off. Don't lose the C-clip. Okay. Where is my... Okay. And when you clean those switches, please be careful when you take this little plate off. There's a ball bearing underneath, so don't lose that one. And also you got to do this when you take the motor out. Now this plate comes off, slides out, both of them. But don't lose the ball bearing. If you lose the ball bearing, you're kind of screwed. So let me take the ball bearing away and put it in a safer place. Okay, like so. And now these come out. One, two. Now we can get to this screw. Which is a different screw. So here's the motor, right? Here's the pinch roller. Don't lose that one. The spring for the pinch roller is still here, so that's not going anywhere. What were we doing? Oh, the switches. Okay. Okay, again, a little bit of paper, some alcohol, and the switches. Find a good angle, slide it between, and pull them out. Other side. Find a good angle. Find a good angle. And pull them out. Now, I hope you can see the paper. You know, it is, those little stripes is the dirt coming from the switches. So it really is dirty. Give it a few more goes. Okay, you can see a piece of paper in between the switches. You just pull them closed, pull the paper out. Okay. Now, let me put it back together, turn it around. Okay, so let's put the command motor back in its place. And it has to go into the little hole where it lives. And it's not always easy, but now it is. Okay, so that's one. Remember where the screws go. So that's one. Here's the other one. Don't forget the little PCB. Turn it around because the third one is going up front. Right? Okay. Like there. Okay. this one sat here, and remember the ball bearing goes in there, so let's pick that one up. Put it where you see the mark. Slide the holder in. A little bit down. Okay, like so. Okay. Now the tricky part. We're going to put the motor back in without losing the ball bearing. Put the wires out of place. Okay. And there's only one way that the motor can go in. Oh, there's a little lip on this side, and there's a little hole. I'm not going to show you because otherwise I'm going to lose my position. But if you look at the motor, you know, you can see exactly where that needs to go. Like that. Make it. And if everything works out, the capstan direct drive motor will reposition itself. So there should be no adjustment. Just tighten it. Okay. That goes. This little clip sits on here. And it's basically only to hold the lamp. So we can slide it over. If it wants to, slide it back underneath. Oh, come on. Maybe not that easy. Okay, come on. Okay, push it down. That doesn't sit right yet. Yeah, that sits in right there. Come on. You know, it's a bit fiddly. Okay, now. Something isn't sitting correct. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, okay, it has to be underneath. That's just a two-way part. Okay. slide it in. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's better. Now the lamp, I don't have a new lamp yet, so I'm wondering if I should leave this out. I know it's broken. I think I can see it's broken. I'll just put it in. We can replace it later. Okay. Pinch roller. Now, different from the Nakamichi, this pinch roller is does not have any set screw, so it goes on its axle. You know, and it's held in position. It's also not a dual capstan, so there's no dual pinch rollers to adjust. Let me see if it's easier if I do the spring first. Yeah, I think I should. The spring goes into the front hole, so don't forget that. Onto its holder underneath. Okay, and now for the C-clip, we have the C-clip right here. You know, if you're afraid of losing it, what I would recommend, just put a little bit of grease on it so it doesn't hop out, and just slide it back on like so. Okay. So that's switches cleaned from the command side, switches cleaned, tape detection. That is oiling the capstan. Let's put it back into the machine. We will connect everything, and then we can start cleaning the pinch roller, the heads, and the idler wheel, and see if that still works. Okay, let me grab the deck. Let me put everything else aside, and I will see you in a bit. One last thing before I forget. I said I'm gonna grab the deck. That's not quite true. We're gonna clean the take-up wheels as well. And they'll be held with little plastic clips. So pull them off with your nail, and they're tiny. I mean, you know, look at my finger, you know, real tiny. So put them in a safe place while you work on the take-up reels. Take-up reels come off. Oh, that needs a good clean. And beneath the take-up wheel there is a copper pressure spring. You know, you can see that. Okay. It has to be in its place. Let me take it out and show it to you. Okay. So one side has a little lip. And there's a little spacing there. So let me clean this up real quick. Q-tip. And my door just opened. Don't know why. Okay. Let's clean this up. So at least we know there's no gunk and dirt. Clean up the take-up reel. Oh, by the way, if you look at the back of the take-up reel, there's sensors here that detect the silver and the black, and that's how it knows that the reels are spinning. So take up this. Where's my little pipe cleaner? See if I can push this one through. Yep. Okay. Let's clean the spring. I was busy with airplanes tonight. So put this one back where it belongs. Okay, put the little washer back in. Okay. A little bit of oil. Okay. Take up reel. And the little plastic clip. That's one. Now let's do the other one. And I have lost these rings in the past, and they're real. You don't. Let me tell you, you don't want to lose them. You know, just be careful with them. This grease is all hard, so that's why we're cleaning. Okay. That one. Take the leaf spring out. If I can. Yep, there it is. Let's see. That in a safe place. Clean off all the hard grease so it runs nice again. And this is just, you know, alcohol. Backside. Okay. Put it back in, and this one as well. It's got the little lip here, and it's got a little spacer on the transport where it needs to go. So don't just willy-nilly, you know, drop it in there. It has a space to live. Washer. Okay. Clean. Dry it out and apply a little bit of oil. And you know, don't drain it in oil, right? It's just the tiniest drop to get everything moving and keep everything moving. Okay, so that's cleaning the take-up wheels. Make sure they're okay. Now let me get the deck and we'll start cleaning the idler rubber and the pinch roller and the heads. And it's easier if we have some power, because then we can let everything run and it's easier to clean that way. I'll get the deck. Okay, so before we're gonna put the transport back in, I thought it might be a good idea to fix the cassette door. We've got a little plastic piece that broke off here and it fits perfectly. I originally thought it came from here, you know, another place, but it doesn't. It comes from there. So what I'm gonna try to do, mix up some JB Weld, 2 components, steel and hardener, and oh, this one's still new, so equal parts, and glue it back together again, build it up, let it dry for 24 hours, and then it should be good to go. You know, all these things you can't buy anymore, so you gotta fix it when you can. So equal parts, more or less. You know, epoxies are great stuff. Before I took on repairing cassette decks, I was sailing the world with my family, first on a mono sailboat and then on a catamaran. We crossed the ocean twice, and epoxy is, you know, your go-to stuff. If anything breaks, where's the epoxy? You know, it's just such fantastic. It dries up really good. You can build it up the way you want to. So I've grown quite fond of epoxy. Now let's see if we can get this on straight again, like so. Oh, come on. Yeah. And let's see if we can build up around it without interfering with the cassette mechanism too much. The cassette mechanism, let me zoom out a little bit. You know, the cassette mechanism comes on the top, so I won't mess it. Does it come on the top? No, it comes on the bottom. Really? Yeah, the bottom. So I don't want to interfere too much with how it sits. So we're going to build up this side and hopefully you know, get a good strong piece again. Okay. It's a bit finicky building it up. You can always sand it down a little bit more, but and try to get it straight. well, that's not straight. Like so. Okay. A little bit more. That should work. Is it straight? I think so. Wipe a little bit of the excess away. Okay. Yeah. That looks good. You know, if there's too much, we can always sand it a little bit. So I'm gonna put this away to dry. Clean my finger, of course. And then hopefully by tomorrow, you know, that should work. Yeah. Okay, so let's put this away and I'll get the deck and we'll start putting that back together again. Okay, so the deck is here. Let's get the transport. Oh, dropping some papers. And let's see if we can just put it down enough so we can start cleaning the rubber and the pinch roller. Now I took the blue wires off. Let's untangle this a little bit. Okay. This one away. Make a little bit space. Put it down. Okay. When I took the blue wires off, you know, there's two blue wires. I haven't measured to see what it does. I put a knot in one wire and I put a little mark on the post where it went. So that's for my own, so I know where it goes. Let's wrap that back around the post. Slide it down like so. And now the other wire, same thing. Which goes to the other post that I didn't mark. And I don't know why they didn't use connectors for these. I'm not even sure what these wires are. I have to look it up. Connectors are so much easier. Okay. That's good. That's out of the way. There's the heads. Here's the mechanism control. Goes in there. Here's the other mechanism control. Goes in here. Yep. Head wires. Connector here. And a raise wire. Well, did I pull that one off? goes here. Other way around. Okay. So, connect it again. Where's my felt for protection? Because I would like to clean it like this. Then we have a better view of what's what. Let me move the camera a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Let's see if we can find some power. Oi. Ha ha ha. Well, obviously something went wrong. And it must be a switch somewhere that I cleaned and didn't put back the way it's supposed to. Okay, I need to re-clean the switch. Or maybe I bent it a little bit. We'll check that out. Let me see. Yeah. Let me see. I think I need to re-clean the switch a little bit and check them. Pull out the power. Yeah, that's typically the command switches, but I did clean them. Maybe there's a little bit of bad contact. Let's check. Oh, I see. Okay, there was a piece of paper from the cleaning between the switches. See if I can focus on that. No. Okay, no. You're gonna have to believe me. There's a little piece of paper. So let's check if it now works. Okay, that works. Let me fool the transport, make it think there's a tape in there. Forward stop. Okay. Will it continue to run? Yes. Now let's clean the idler pulley. Get some alcohol. And clean the pinch roller. That's dirty. That needs a lot more cleaning. And this one needs to be cleaned as well, because it doesn't seem to have a whole lot of take-up force. Oh, it's getting better now. Okay. Let's use the good stuff. You know, if you wonder if it's clean enough, if you hold it, you can feel how much it actually pulls the tape. And this is my all-purpose cleaner. The alcohol didn't get too much off. The all-purpose cleaner typically does a lot better job. You can see how dirty the Q-tip is. So there's still a lot more dirt coming off from here. So let me get a new one. Let me clean that one as well. Oh, by the way, I did Yamahas as well with this transport. On the Yamahas, this idler pulley always breaks. This one seems to be all okay. So I don't know if they use different materials, but this one doesn't seem to be broken at all. So that's positive. That's a win. Because otherwise, you know, we gotta epoxy this wheel, and that's not gonna be fun whatsoever. Oh, still dirt coming off. Okay, let's see if I can fast forward. Does that work better? Q-tips, Q-tips, Q-tips. You know, whenever you start doing this, make sure you have a ton of Q-tips. You know, not just 5 or 10. No, get a box of 100. Get two boxes where there's 100. You know, because you're gonna need them. You're gonna go through them like you would not believe. Come on, clean, play. Clean this a little bit. I think I'm gonna need a new idler wheel for this. This one seems to be really old and not very grippy anymore. So that's one on the to-do list. Come on, play that funky music. Come on, turn, play, whatever you want to do. Yeah, that doesn't want to play nice. Okay. Let's clean the capstan then while it's drying up, getting grippy. So what parts need to go on the list? The light bulb for the cassette compartment, new idler pulley, what else? I think that's it. Come on. Some people sand it. I don't know, should we try sanding it? You know, it is quite grippy, but it doesn't seem to be. Let it do its now. We're gonna need a new idler wheel. Okay, clean the head. And then we're gonna have a quick listen to music and see what it's doing. Oh, now is it dry? That started working all of a sudden. So maybe we don't need a new idler wheel. That would be good. Okay. Hey, are we still connected? No. Let me put some Nana Muscuri. Yeah, why not? Take that one out. Oh, other side. So the cassette holder we fixed is dry. The epoxy worked quite well. So what we're gonna do now, put this one back in the transport, put the transport back into the deck, put it all back together again, and see what kind of results we get when playing. I did earlier notice some differences between left and the right channel, so hopefully we can fix that by adjusting the playback and the record, and we'll do some more testing. So let me put this one back and we'll put it back into the deck. Here is a little damper. And I hope I'm doing this in the right order, that I can fix the spring later. Okay. No, I'm not. This one has to go first, I think. Yeah. Otherwise it won't fit. Damper in. Okay. Now it stays closed. Okay, well that seemed to have worked. Where's the spring? See, yeah, now it opens. Good. Okay. Put this back into the deck. Open it up, a little bit more space. cables back. Be careful with all the buttons. Put the screws back in the bottom. And I hope I don't have to take the transport out, because I did this yesterday, so I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Another foot. More screws. And more screws. More screws. That was all the screws on the bottom. And it opens. Good. Yeah. Well, that's a win. Nothing forget here. Oh. Transport is back in the case. Cleaned it all. Adjusted the mechanics. So for this time we're gonna leave it at that. The next video about this deck, the Basic X1, i.e. the same model is the Kenwood KX-880 SR. Next time we'll do all of the electronic adjustment, the record, the playback, the bias, the meter levels, and we'll make a separate video. So I hope you enjoyed the service of this Sankyo direct drive single capstan motor, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.